possibly the go-ahead run. Here's the play, they're going to lob it to home, and it gets down, and he's out at home. Here comes the throw, play it third, and sight. Pitch, and this is hit hard. This is going to left field. This one is back, and it's out of here.
Well, good evening, everyone. The lights are on, and we're about to have some Wednesday night baseball. Kind of scary day in the South Australian capital today, 42 degrees. There's been dust storms, bushfires in the vicinity, but I think we're just about set to give you some baseball. Tonight, it's pretty much sudden death for the Carp. They have to win and get some help to make it to the playoffs in 2 weeks' time. My name's Phil Hurd. I'm joined, I think I heard him once described as the voice of Super League Baseball. Rob Ushy. Good evening, Rob.
Good evening. It might be self-proclaimed, I'm not sure, but
I wasn't going to say that.
But yeah, it's cooled off a little bit. It's only 36 degrees. For anybody back across the pond, it's 95. But the action hasn't cooled off at all. Tonight we do have the Carp and the Wasps, and as you mentioned, the Carp are fighting for the playoff lives.
So let's just very quickly, the earlier game today, it was top of the table clash, the Crushers and the Clippers. Give us a quick summary.
Quick summary, the Austin Gallagher show broke out as he led them to a 13-8 victory, 7 RBIs, big two-run home run in the first to get them going. Most of their damage done in the last inning. They ended up walking off the Denmark Crushers to revenge the walk-off that was done to them earlier in the year from the Crushers. But with their big lead, it almost certainly clinches first place for the Clippers. A different position that they were at from last season.
Alrighty, so it is going to be the lineup for the Carp, who will be batting first tonight. Bitch Lightbody will lead off. Jack Partington in the 2-hole. Bas Noy is back. Great to see. Cesar Perez at 4. Nico van der Linden 5. Nick Platten 6. Jacob Scott 7. Darren. Just Darren is at 8. And Garrett Alvarez, not only can he pitch, and he pitched very well last week, he can hit as well. He's in the 9-hole. And how do the Wasps look defensively to get us underway?
Well, defensively left to right, Kellen Cross is going to be the left fielder today. As Ichiro Suzuki finds himself in another position once again. He's going to take over in center field. I'm going to leave Jordan Spratt getting his first start Super League action. He'll be in right field. Across the infield, Sam McGarry will be back at third base. Glad to see him back after taking a scary shot off his kneecap last weekend. Nate Vanderlinden be at shortstop. Josh Cakebread at second base. First baseman is going to be Michael Bishop. Catcher Griffin Weber. And on the mound tonight is going to be Tom Fitzgerald again.
So two Adelaide there's $1 in the fine jar. 2 Adelaide Giants players are set to rock and roll. It's the Wasps in yellow, the Carp in red. Tom Fitzgerald gets us underway with the first pitch, ball down in the dirt.
Yeah, go falling behind 1-0 here early. Let's see which Fitzgerald shows up. We've seen the lights out dominant procedure, and we've also seen one where he struggled a little bit. That one there, he comes back, finds the outside corner beautifully, even the count 1-1. Carp are going to have to look to score every inning, and we mentioned them fighting for their lives. They lost by 2 runs last time they played the Wasps, so they have to essentially win this one by 3.
They do, because they're going to have to win the tiebreakers. That's a big hit towards left. Sets Croce a task. He's not up for it. That's going to hit the fence. Everyone's off and running. Now confusion between first and second, and almost the out at second. And there is the out at second. Oh dear, that was confusion with Alvarez. Darren, who was at second, headed to third. Obviously, Lightbody with the safe hit had to go to first. Really, Alvarez had no choice but to go to second, but he was slow to get off the mark.
Yeah, it looks like it's Carter Powell in there running for the pitcher. We want to save his legs a little bit as he's got a more important job to do. Didn't get a good read and ends up getting Mitch Lightbody what he was looking for, a double. Ends up with a fielder's choice.
Yeah, great pickup. You actually beat the scorers to that one in terms of the pinch runner. So, out of all of that, we have a single, men on the corners, and 1 out already. Plenty happening, and we've had 3 pitches thus far.
The beauty of Super League, get base runners every inning. First and second, nobody out. and you get a chance to score a lot of runs, which we've seen the last number of weeks. The first week teams were a little slower to get adapting to everything, but the last number of weeks they've been a little bit of a lean there from light body. Good move from Fitzgerald to get moved back over to first base. But we've seen the runs scored quite frequently and quite often. In all the runs, we've seen late inning comebacks and big rallies from everybody. First inning, there goes light body on the pitch. And then the ball popped up. On the ground, Partington stumbles a little bit, but he's going to get the RBI as he grounds out for a 5-3 putout. Light body's going to move up to second base. Carp get themselves a 1-0 lead.
Well, they've at least established par in terms of scoring a run with a 2 on. So we're 2 out, man on second. Of course, if running why all these runners are on base. Super League rules, man. We start off every inning with men on second and first. Of course, it is a competition where we do take the rules and shake them up just a little bit. We have the time clock, we have the pitch counts, we have the men on base. It is supercharged baseball for sure and certain. And Bass Noy, there's the Dropkick Murphys music kicking in. Great to have Bass back in West Beach.
Yeah, the Carp will definitely welcome him back in their time of need. He's been away back in the Netherlands on holiday. Missed the first few weeks of Super League action. And they'll be happy to have their first round pick back here for the final 2 weeks, stabilize the catching position for them, and definitely add some instant offense with his big bat.
Does indeed. Right now, he's got a man at second to try and bring home. No sacrifice option. It's 2 outs and a 1-1 count.
And it's just outside. And that one's going to get Nui ahead in the count here, 2-1.
Speaking about mixing up the rules, I'll have a question for you at the start of the next inning. I think with 2 out, I might just put it in the folder for now.
Lightbody's going to grab his lead off second base. Gerald to the plate, and Nui takes that one low and inside. 3-1 count.
Well, first hitter of any sort to take Fitzgerald, bar a couple of pitches.
We've seen it the last few weeks. Lots early in the game tonight. The Crushers were very aggressive at the first 2 pitches of that they saw all night, and then the Clippers in the last inning. 3-1 to Nui, and he's going to follow that one. That one's going to go off his foot. He's going to hobble around there a little bit, and we'll just take a few seconds to allow him to regather himself.
Yes, never. Always a tricky thing to shake off. You can't rest it up because you've got to stand on it. Well, we'll see what he can do here. 1 man on second. You think for the Carp to feel comfortable, they'd like at least 2 from the opening dig.
We've seen a lot in Super League action. The first inning's been a very big inning for teams. The Wasps have been one that in back-to-back weeks have scored crooked numbers plus. So they definitely, the Carp want to get at least probably 1 more to get that 2-0 lead and put that pressure back on.
Just thinking through the season, and as the voice of Super League Baseball, feel free to correct me, Rob, that I would say, and there's a strikeout, Sanshin, as we were saying in the Japanese games last week. I reckon in every game they've played, the Carp have led. But we will take a break. You're watching Super League Baseball Adelaide, thanks to Space Quake Sports.
Black Chrome is the official partner of Super League Baseball Adelaide. Head to the Black Chrome website to view the new range of custom baseball apparel and see why so many teams are choosing to partner with Black Chrome.
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Welcome back. The lights are on and starting to cool down. Thank goodness. It has been a scorcher in the South Australian capital. Looking at Bennett Field here at Active Display Stadium, suburban West Beach. Yep, we're by the beach, about 500 metres from here maybe. Bit of sea breeze, we're just waiting to come on down after a long hot day. This is the Carp and the Crushers Wednesday night Super League Baseball, Adelaide on the hill. Well, he was huge last week, and that is Alvarez. Whilst he's warming up, ABL season starts tomorrow. The Perth Heat travel 5 time zones to play in Auckland. And
they left today.
Left today? Well, they leave at like 7 in the morning, get there at 6 at night on a 7-hour flight. The Auckland Tuatara have done a national TV broadcast deal with Sky Sports New Zealand, but the condition of that broadcast deal is all their home games in the regular season have to be 7 innings. Great exposure, adjusting the rules, good move, bad move, a bit of both.
Well, I don't think anytime you get a national contract to broadcast baseball can be considered a bad move. Going from 9 innings to 7 innings, it is going to be a little bit of a change on managers. Just the last couple innings, you got to speed up in your head a little bit, but it's not anything that any of the managers in the ABL won't be used to, because we have seen a number of times, even in Adelaide here, doubleheader games. If one of them is 7 innings and the other is 9, so the 7-inning thing is probably going to be common, but it probably a good thing for a national contract.
I guess the ones who'd probably feel a little bit upset would be those that have bought memberships and tickets expecting at least to see a fair few 9-inning games. It takes away a little bit of the value they're supposed to get. But yeah, look, I'm not a baseball traditionalist, so I'm looking at it from, national TV coverage, doing something that we already see a fair bit, not a bad thing. The Wasps are up to bat. Nathan van der Linden is first up, to be followed by Michael Bishop and Josh Cakebread, and you're with Rob Usher.
Yeah, so far his first 2 pitches from Alvarez, he's picking up right where he left off last week when he was just throwing strikes and getting strikeouts. His pitch count just caught up to him as they're only allowed 30 pitches, but here's the 0-2. And that one, van der Linden's going to lay off even to allow the count to go to 1 and 2.
Well, that was the thing probably about Fitzgerald innings. I think that barely went maybe 12 pitches at most, which means he could go beyond the 2-inning mark if he can do the same second time round.
Yeah, definitely is what you need to do as a pitcher. You need to attack the hitters. We've seen Alvarez do it consistently, and they're going to get slider just off the plate. And van der Linden checks the swing to even the count 2 and 2. And we did see Fitzgerald do it last inning too. He went right after batters, got early groundouts, and then he was able to get a strikeout on Boston to end the inning.
How much film review analytics would happen at this level? As there's a nice strikeout to start the night for Alvarez.
At this level for Super League, it's almost going to be, since pretty much every one of these players also plays for his club team, it'll be done at club levels, just because the only time any of these players see each other together is on Wednesday nights out here. There is no extra training times, but going to the ABL level, seeing it last year, even in 1-2 years, it's gone completely exploded, and players have developed because of it, and they're only going to get even better.
Yeah, no, understood. I was just thinking that if the Wasps watched last week's game closely, they would see how good Alvarez was, 2, how the pitches that came after him weren't as good. So I'm wondering if they're going to adapt a strategy to get him off the hill as quickly as possible with some long at-bats.
Well, you definitely want to go up there with the approach of swinging at strikes, but you can't allow him just to say we're going to wait till we get 2 strikes on us. And he's too good of a pitcher to say just wait and wait, because then he is going to have the advantage on you, because you'll be behind 0-2 rather quick.
Michael Bishop, one of your Cardinals, as that's a ball that gets past Noy, and the Wasps advance, because of course we started with Juice. I know nothing else. But Juice was started at second. Josh Spratt started at first. They've both advanced a base.
Well, when in the second half of the season, we had the marquees added to each of the teams. There was another player added, and the Asian players have been integrated into the teams as well.
Well, I think Darren and Juice are both on the Adelaide roster, or whether as development or otherwise, because of course there's that wrinkle as well when they're the home team.
Bishop's going to follow that one straight back, even the count 2-2. One of the hot hitters for the Wasps, and he started off the season I think it was about 0 for 5, 0 for 6, and there was a little frustration, but the last couple of weeks he's really squared up some baseballs and has carried over from club ball into Super League and then vice versa. And he's one of the hotter hitters that the Wasps have in their lineup, and that's why he's in the 2 hole now.
You're looking at some of the early game stats. Batters were generally getting 2 at-bats, maybe 3 if lucky. So whereas a normal baseball SK game, you might get 4, 5 if lucky.
Yeah, we've seen more runs scored, and that means more at-bats and more energy and more excitement. And here's the payoff pitch coming to Bishop, 3-2. Runner second and third with 1 out. And he's going to swing this, and that's back-to-back strikeouts to start the game for Garrett Alvarez, and he certainly is leaving off where he from last week.
He's using up the pitch count in the process, but no one's yet to make any contact in the field of play. As we go to Josh Cakebread, who hard to see in the Wasp uniform, because to me he was the heart and soul, along with Creswell, of the Crushers team last year.
Added this year in the second half draft, was added as the marquee for the Wasps, and delivered last week, going 2 for 2 with a couple RBIs. So you're looking to help out here, and one of the features, I know we mentioned it last year a lot more because it was brand new, but we've got teammate versus teammate.
Oh yeah,
both Goodwood Indians here.
Well, we have the brother versus brother. We have the Van der Linden Bowl tonight. Nathan v Nico. I wonder if one of them is going to pitch to the other sometime this evening. Something the McGarrys can't quite do. They can run into each other at second, but they don't usually pitch to each other.
Yeah, we've seen that. I saw a pretty big collision earlier in this season, but I don't know if I've seen Nico throw too many baseballs in the years. But Nate, definitely one of the key pitchers that the Wasps probably will be turning to at some point tonight.
Well, you never know. Might get a Nathan to Nico duel tonight. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
The 0-2 to Cakebread. He takes that one high. 1-2.
So at the moment, Alvarez one more strike away from striking out the side, or having a kinning, as I like to call it.
And won't kind of pale into his immaculate inning he had last week when he had the 3 strikeouts on 9 pitches. But
and it happened so quickly, it sort of caught us off guard. When we did the recount in the break, as that was fouled first off the foot. So, gee, you'd want to be wearing the steel cap boots tonight, wouldn't you? Everyone's fouling it on their feet. Yeah,
one of the things we've seen so far tonight. Early in the first at bat, Carp hitter fouled the ball off his foot. We needed a few seconds here, and then now Josh Cakebread gets a little stinger off the top of the foot. He looks to be okay. He'll get back in there and be looking to get himself right in the count. It's 1-2.
So bar the ball that hit the backstop and Juice and Spratt advanced to base, really not much has happened offensively for the Wasps thus far.
And we've seen them explode in the first inning. A little bit slower start so far, but they still do have 1 out to play with here. 1-2 pitch to Cakebread. And he's going to line that one to left field. That one's going to drop just foul.
To mention the ABL around the country starts tomorrow, except for Adelaide. Starts about 2 o'clock with the Perth at Auckland series, which will be mixed emotions for everyone. Start of the season, always exciting. New stadium, exceptionally exciting, but of course Ryan Costello passing away for the Tuatara earlier in the week just has caught everyone by surprise.
Yeah, a little bit of sad news to start the ABL season for a team that's got so much excitement and energy. But I'm sure they'll turn around. Stephen Mintz, former manager of the Adelaide Bite, over down in Auckland now. He'll use it as a bit of a rallying cry to fire up the troops, to get them going. But good take there from Cakebread on an inside curveball. Even the count 2-2.
All the 2s. First Richie of the night. Two strikes, 2 balls, 2 out, 2 on. Cakebread now wants 2 runs, but instead he will whiff, and that is striking out the side to Alvarez. Certainly has started where he left off last week. Holds the Wasps scoreless, and the Carp take a 1-0 lead into the second inning. This is Super League Baseball, Spacequake Sports. So do that.
I can't believe he got absolutely lit up on Elvis. Henley and Grange.
Okay.
They got 6 home runs on the day, but I think he only gave up 3 of them.
Oh, he's great.
Only.
Where were they playing it?
At Goodwood.
At Goodwood.
I think the wind was blowing out, but still.
They were making contact.
Yeah, I mean, Henley scored 15 runs in the game, so.
So would you say, because I know we've had the issue about some of the senior players not wanting to play,
Yeah.
that the standard of a team like, say, okay, as we welcome back to the top of the second. So the Carp have scored 1 run to open proceedings. The Wasps held scoreless, which is always a great defensive achievement if you can hold a team scoreless in innings. So first innings points go to the Carp. Not the first time they've led this season. Can they actually hold the lead? They'll go to their 4, 5, 6. It'll be Perez, Van der Linden and Platten. In theory, Jack Partington is at second and Bass Noy at first. Does Noy get a pinch runner in these scenarios being the catcher?
Yeah, it looks like they're sending out Jack Higginbotham. We see him in front of our screen running over to first base. It is one of the rules that we do have in Super League that you can run for the catcher. It is mandatory with 2 outs, but most teams choose to do it at any time just to allow a little bit quicker for speed up and get their catchers more time and stay off their feet.
Not wanting to get stuck into catchers, I think, is the toughest position in all in baseball, and a position I'm totally in awe in. But pinch runner can often do better around the bases than a normal catcher anyway.
Yeah, a lot of the catchers usually are built for maybe not speed being the primary aspect, but they do enjoy being able to rest and even talk to their pitcher at times. But it'd be
that's true.
Good fastball there from Fitzgerald, leaving the count 1-1.
So, you know, you've had a good inning. How much chat generally occurs in a dugout in an inning? Is it sort of like, I go and have a break, get a drink, watch the game, or is there actually a little bit of chatting and huddling and planning, or is it a game by game, inning by inning scenario?
A lot of it'll be inning by inning. I can only imagine for a Super League when pitchers and catchers don't really know each other, there's a little more communication. I'm sure Nui's down there. It's his first night out tonight with the club. He hasn't seen any of these pitchers, so he'll be taking a little extra time to talk to them. Partington's going from second base, and that one's going to be hit foul.
So you've coached, I think, in 3 separate continents.
At least.
At least. Haven't got to Antarctica just yet. What do you like as a coach in the dugout? Are you let the players do their own thing, or you want to have a chat to them when you've got them a couple of feet away?
I always take every time for learning opportunities on certain situation, but for players to, there's going to be fastball taken away, even the count 2-2. To kind of, if there's policing, some of the captains and leaders of the team should probably be the one to do it during the game. And you miss, you get 3-2. But definitely communication. Lots of communication between pitcher catchers, between batters, letting them know what pitchers are throwing, what they're seeing, and what's going on in the field and what's going on with the fielders. So they need to communicate and help each other out too.
Full count.
Runners going. One's shot down the left field line. It's another foul ball.
2 bounces into the fence. So coming up, it should be Cesar Perez batting 4, Nico van der Linden 5, and Nick Platten 6. We started off with Jack Partington at second. Can't miss that hair. And you had the pinch runner in Higginbotham for Bass Noy at first.
Yeah, we'll see whether there's going to be the pickoff attempt at second base. We saw one last game. Chase Cunningham to start off an inning. Got an out before he even threw a pitch. He picked off a runner. And we've seen Partington run a little bit. Fitzgerald looking to see if he was going to be a little aggressive, leave early, but he's able to get back there in time and turn around, focus on a batter here as there's nobody out first and second. Definitely important to get an out with the hitter.
And gets the strike, and there's going to be a throw him out. No, safe. So everyone advances, but Fitzgerald gets his second strikeout of the night. The Carp 1 away.
Yeah, we see here the strikeout pitch from Fitzgerald. A good decision from Griffin Weber behind the plate. He knows he's not going to have a chance at Partington at third, so he takes the trail runner, who's going to have to wait that extra split second just to make sure the runner at second goes. Wasn't quite able to get him, and now at second and third, 1 out. And Nico van der Linden looking to extend the Carp lead past 1-0.
Well, can the Carp take their opportunities as they've been given here? Left a couple stranded, left one stranded last inning. It's probably fair to say you'd expect to leave some stranded with the rules in Super League Baseball.
Yeah, if you have a low left on base runner number on the year, you're going to be a winning club. And van der Linden takes strike 2.
So Fitzgerald is part of the bite lineup, just waiting to get the official rosters from the ABL to see who's in, who's out of the Giants Bandit series, which starts here. 48 hours will be underway and probably halfway through the game as van der Linden strikes out, and all of a sudden Fitzgerald's taking a look out of Advares' book. 2 up, 2 struck out.
Yeah, first 2 strikeouts of this inning. Last one last inning. The 3 straight strikeouts for Fitzgerald here. In the top of the second, he's looking to keep the Carp from scoring again. And Nick Platten hoping to find some gap. That one's, he's going to drive that one foul, and that one's going to go over the bullpen down the right field line. And Carp are gonna have to, one of these innings, put up something big just to turn it over, so the Wasps don't have that opportunity to score an easy run or two and lead or possibly
Storm
win
home
later.
late.
Yeah.
I think at least of the 4 losses, I think of 2, possibly 3, where the Carp have had that lead. I think the one again, that Clippers game was just something else, 14-13. They had, what, a 6 run lead at one point?
Yeah, and then last week it looked like they were going to win, and in the last inning, Crushers came back big on them. So it's going to be driven. That one's going to be fielded at second base by Cakebread. He's going to flip up, as he's done a million times, over to first base for the final out of the inning. And that's another clean inning there. The Carp still lead. We're going to go to the bottom of the second, and the Wasps are going to try to get back onto the scoreboard.
All you need is the ball.
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Back here in the bottom of the second, we're looking from last week of Garrett Alvarez in his debut for the Carp of his immaculate inning. 3 pitches there, fastball and 2 sliders, and then he's just going to pound in on fastballs here. And immaculate inning again, 3 strikeouts, 9 pitches. As we see him doing his work tonight, he's picking off right where he left off, but this is one of the most rare things you'll find in baseball, and we saw it last week. And there's the 1 curveball he threw that inning. Big hook. He's excited and pumped up. He's got his team with a 1-0 lead here. We're in the bottom of the second.
And of those 9 strikes, 8 were swinging. 1 was a foul. No one was looking at him. They were all trying to beat him out the park, and he was just blowing the heat past them big time.
Yeah, we've seen teams get a lot more aggressive these last number of weeks. We've spoken about it a couple of times and earlier today. And they figured out that the pitchers are coming right at them and not nibbling this year like they were last year. So batters are aggressive, pitchers are aggressive, lots of runs are scored.
Sam McGarry at the plate, takes a first pitch strike. So we've got Michael Bishop, he's at second. Josh Cakebread is at first as the runners on base to start proceedings. Sam McGarry at the plate to be followed by Sachiro Suzuki and Kellen Gross.
And big swing and a miss there by McGarry. And Alvarez up ahead 0-2. First inning. There was one wild pitch mixed in his inning, which moved the runners up, but otherwise it was 3 strikeouts. And he's just a strikeout machine so far in Super League in the 2 weeks that he's been involved. And that one he's going to miss up and away.
There's the immaculate inning all gone. We're ready for it now. We're expecting it.
Well, I don't know if we ever expect it, but it's definitely impressive when you see it happen.
Dave Muggleton has set it up with the last week's. Let's see what he can do this week.
And we'll check with the umpire, and yes, he did go around, and so that'll be another strikeout for Jared Alvarez, and he gets Sam McGarry on the check swing.
4 up, 4 down, all with a K next to their name. That said, the pitch counts are going just a little longer this time around. I haven't seen the really short inning yet, where the double play fly out to, I think the shortest one we've had is 6 pitches so far, that I know of, unless you've seen a bit more than I have.
Yeah, there was one early in the season. It was like week 2 or 3, somewhere in there. It was about a 3-pitch inning. There was a pop-up and a double play, but that one Citro's going to drive to center field. Partington's going to take a drop step, and he's going to have to coast back a little bit on that. And Bishop isn't going to test the arm. He tags up, takes a couple steps off, but there's another out for Jared Alvarez early in the count. But it wasn't a strikeout.
No.
He'll definitely take it. He'd prefer the outs without the strikeouts when they're on less than 3 pitches, because it only means he can keep going longer.
That's it. Anything less than 3 pitches, he'll take the fly out, ground out, just so he can stay out there for a few more at-bats. You think if he can get through 3, that's going to be huge for the Carp. I think he got 2 and 2 outs? No, 2, 1 out and a walk last week. So lines up again this time. That's, what I say, that straightens the batter up a bit.
That's gonna come inside on Kellen Krause there, and you see he's got the extra flap on his helmet. He certainly happy he's got that. You see him laughing a little bit. He understands he's a pitcher. Ball just kind of got a little bit away from Alvarez. He knows it's not intentional. He's got control. That one he's going to fall straight back off the mask of Boss Nui.
Yeah, so just wondering if that's, you can never show as a batter that you got rattled by that. You almost automatically have to come back with the smile when you've almost had your helmet knocked off your face.
Well, once you realize that you didn't get hit, you can
You're
actually
alive.
laugh about it.
Yeah. Yes.
1-1 pitch. Bishop takes his lead from second. Crow's going to foul that one off.
I sometimes wonder why it's not a question on life insurance. Do you play baseball? You know, skydiving, I can understand.
Well, the Wasps are looking to get something going. We saw in the first week of the year they were no hit in 5 innings.
Yeah.
So far they don't have one. They've looked a little out of shape after putting up big runs in weeks 2, 3, and 4. Here's another pitch. That one's going to be high and wide to get 2-1.
Got the Richie going, 2-2 out. I got the Japanese commentators into it last week. It was such a laugh, the Giants Japanese series. It is nice to sit with someone who speaks English, or speaks Canadian maybe, but, and speaks baseball very well actually, because we were discussing, we had myself, some Japanese players didn't understand much English. We had a translator who knew nothing about but baseball. So none of us had the 3 languages down pat. But I talked to him about the Richie 2-2-2 and explained it's all about, cricket! Yeah, you know. And sure enough, I think they were telling me when it was a Richie and we're getting into it. So we're going to export that to Japan. You watch it take off, mate.
Well, they'll come up with their own name for it.
They will.
They'll patent it and find something new. And we got a 2-2 pitch. Runners take their leads again. And Roche is going to swing and miss on a big curveball. And that's going to be another strikeout for Jared Alvarez, his 5th of the night. We'll see what his pitch count's at. I'm sure he'll be able to at least start the next inning. And after 2 full innings, the Carp still have a 1-0 lead.
You're watching Super.
Try to breathe, but I can't. She's hiding horns. She got two little horns and they give me a little
Not just perfect, she's truly perfect. Look at her inside the middle. It's your championship.
Let's see that one down there. Oh, that was a hard hit right down the eye.
Well, last few weeks we have seen an avalanche of runs until this one. We've had, we've had a couple of innings now of no-run baseball. It is a 1-0 lead. We're very traditional at the moment, top of the third, Rob.
Yeah, the heat of the days dried up all the runs that we've had the last couple of weeks, but it only takes one inning in Super League. We've seen it repeated times. We saw it earlier tonight when the Clippers exploded in one inning and walked off the Crushers, and we're seeing here a little bit of a pitcher's duel between Tom Fitzgerald and Garrett Alvarez. Both are pouring in the strikes, getting the outs, and Carp managed to scrape themselves a run in the first inning and continue to lead 1-0 here.
Yeah, it'd be exciting if they could go longer than 30 pitches. So both, I think, are going to make their way to the third. I think Fitzgerald's going to have to retire first because he's had the extra at bat. So just to set up who's where and what, Nico van der Linden is at second, Nick Platten is at first, and I've got Jacob Scott hitting at the moment. They'll be followed by Darren and the pitcher, Garrett Alvarez.
Yeah, good fastball there on the inner half of the plate. Scott swings right through that one, and even the count 2-2. And we're seeing the clock tick down. We have 50 minutes left. We do have lots of time, but the Carp have to score some runs. They're fighting for their playoff lives. They have to win by 3 tonight to even have an opportunity next week.
Yeah. So the Wasps could lose 1-0 and still qualify for the playoffs by doing so, because they would end up with the tiebreaker. And there's another K, and that's number 4 for Fitzgerald. 4 out of 7 hitters.
Yeah, he's looked fresh tonight after having the weekend off from club ball and getting a little bit of work in with the Adelaide Giants in the Japanese series. And tonight with the 4 strikes, it looked like he had a lot of movement and he had batters going through, but he hit his pitch limit, unfortunately for him, who was having a nice outing.
Speaking of the Japanese series, that's sayonara for Fitzgerald for the week. And you see how he comes back. Of course, the Giants, the relaunched Giants, will be back in action. 7:20 first pitch on Friday right here at Active Displays Stadium, which is looking a picture. The grandstand, the roof of the grandstands is back, so plenty of shaded seats either on top of the dugouts or here in the Mark Hutton grandstand. Get down, and they may well ask, where were you the day that the Giants re-rose or reborn, or whatever you'd like to call it? Make sure you're here to enjoy the Brisbane Bandits, 4-time defending champions. A lot of that championship team is back. I think something like 8 players in the squad that have won all 4 championships, about 7 that have played all 10 seasons. It's a veteran side coming to town, Rob, but if you're going to play them early.
Yeah, you're going to have to be hoping that they're a little tired, maybe from just returning from the Premier 12, because they did have a lot of Bandit players representing Team Australia. So you're hoping that maybe you get a little fatigue kicking in that first weekend, but it'll be a little bit exciting. And Giants have kind of rounded out their roster maybe today. Saw a couple of the new faces around the ballpark. David Holmberg was here today, and then Evan, big Canadian boy, came in tonight, and
I don't know how you get Rutsky out of the name, but apparently that's what it is. A lot of C, Ks and Js in there.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of Ks when he's pitching too. He's got a very good fastball.
Well, we now have at the plate Darren. That is the entirety of the information we have.
One of the Asian players that has joined Super League, associated with the Adelaide Giants. Nico Vanderleek's the jump. And then going to be a pass ball there, going to be on Griffin Weber as that big curveball just popped out of the glove. A little ejecto mid, as we like to call it. But Mitch Stark, who's been primarily a starter for the Wasps. He comes in from Brisbane every Wednesday to play in the Super League. And he's done a very good job of it. He's been roughed up in one account that ballooned his ERA up a little bit, but otherwise done very well since he's been out here. And he's looking to get some big outs here. He knows that he doesn't want to fall too far behind the Carp can score.
No, just glad he's got a run. It's a long way to fly if you're not going to play. And of course, not only that, given it's Wednesday night games, you have to stay overnight here. There's no late night red-eye flight to Brisbane.
Especially when you're in the late game. The 8 o'clock start, and once you're done a little bit later, Darren's going to follow that one back up to the right.
I think knowing the baseball community, he's probably bunked down on a sofa somewhere or a spare room.
Oh, I'm sure there's somebody that's put him up, one of his teammates, for the one night that he comes into all the time. Fairly good good community, as you mentioned. And there's going to be a big curveball, and that one's going to be called a ball.
So full count on Darren here. We've got third and second at the moment. The Carp trying to get another run after scoring one on the first. Right back at Stark, bouncing over second base. This will bring one. Let's have a look at, will it bring two? Yes, it does. A 2 RBI single to Darren. Welcome down under.
Teammates will be certainly glad to see him. Keeps his hands back, finds it right up the middle, just under the feet of Mitch Stark as he hops out of the way. And we see Nick Platten come in, stand up, scoring, standing up. 2-0, 2 runs this inning, 3 total. And Carp now have that 3-run lead they need. Can they hold it?
Yes, and we've seen having the starting pitchers do so well once they've gone to the second pitcher. I can't really say, not really say that they're the first relief. Would you still say it in this sort of scenario where they've got to come in because of a pitch count?
Oh yeah, this first reliever
first relief, yeah, I guess. There's a long hit ball by Alvarez, looks playable, and it is. That is a heck of a catch by Jordan Spratt, I think that is out there and right. I'm sure our Spacequake Sports team will show us the replay of that a few times over. Nicely done. Oh my goodness!
Nice.
Usually you make the catch, then somersault. He somersaulted, then caught it.
Good catch there. Looks like they've moved the outfielders around a little bit. From what we were originally given, that was Seichiro Suzuki in right field, Kellen Croce in center, but as we see, Seichiro's come flying into the screen here to make the catch, jumps, makes the catch in the air, and then tumbles afterwards.
Okay, he did catch then somersault.
Going to go down as a simple F9 in the scorebook, but turn it back over to Mitch Lightbody here, and the count's 2-0. He had himself I'm going to follow that one straight back. What he would have hoped would have been a double in the first innings. He hit it over the left fielder's head. But a little base running confusion from the base runners, and Carter Powell was thrown out at second base, and it's going to go down as a 7-4 fielder's choice for Mitch Lightbody, and he's 0 for 1 tonight.
Yeah, like you see that every game. So Darren, probably at first, let's say he did not make that catch. I'm not sure he would have got around the 3 bags. Might have ended up at third. So you can't say it saved a run, but it certainly, could it be a momentum changer for the Wasps? Maybe not, as that one is head back in the direction of Spratt. Nice single to right, wild throw at second, but no damage done. So 2 on, 2 out. The Carp are threatening to add to their 3-run lead.
Well, they definitely want to keep piling on as many as they can. They've seen runs and leads disappear rather quick over the season so far, and probably the main contributor to that 0-4 record you see in the bottom half of the screen. So they know they got to complete a game and play it all the way through and score as much as they can every inning if possible. Partington second at bat. It was 5-3 RBI first time up. This one he's going to drive into right field. Tetro's going to come in. That one's rather routine compared to his diving catch for the second out of the inning, but Carp do get a pair of runs and extend their lead to 3-0. And we're going to go to the bottom of the third. The Wasps looking to mount a comeback.
Black Chrome is the official partner of Super League Baseball Adelaide. Head to the Black Chrome website to view the new range of custom baseball apparel and see why so many teams are choosing to partner with Black Chrome.
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
I wonder if the score hasn't picked that up. Welcome back. 3-0 ball game. Wasps with some work to do. They've had 2 innings thus far. Yet to get a player on base. One thing we haven't seen a lot of at Super League is the walks so far. Considering we've seen 11 strikeouts. In fact, it's a new pitcher on the hill. So Alvarez has not gone into the third.
It looks like they've gone to Hugh Batchelor here out of the bullpen.
Yeah, right-handed pitcher from the Angels of Adelaide.
Saw him a couple times earlier in the season, and then one game he came out, did a very good job. One game he got roughed out and came up, got them out of trouble. So it's been hit or miss for Hugh as he's gone in and out of the lineup a little bit.
Well, if you want some help, this is probably where you wouldn't mind coming in, because of the great work of Alvarez of just retiring the side in order. He's facing the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the first outing. So this is as easy as it gets. Suzuki, who was the player who made that great catch in the last half inning, he's at second. Cross is at first. Griff Weber at the plate. Juice is due to come up, batting 8, and Josh Spratt in the 9 hole.
Yeah, Batchelor only got it on the corner, for strikes first time. There's a big curveball, and that one's going to be 0-2. We'll freeze the batter there a little bit. And that one comes up and then bites at the end.
You're lucky to freeze anything today.
This is exactly what it should be every day. Beach weather, 41 degrees.
Okay. 44 with bushfires in Parafield today.
The bushfires is a little more of a threatening and a scary situation for the people involved there, but the warm weather certainly beats the cold.
It does. Now you're from Alberta?
I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Manitoba, sorry. I realise I just deeply insulted you.
No, and it was...
How hot does it get in Winnipeg at its hottest?
Well, it's actually one of the nice places in Canada. We got a 2-2 pitch here to Weber, and that one's going to miss, make it a full count. One of the rare things Winnipeg, Manitoba is in the winter, we can get minus 35 to minus 40, and then in
Fahrenheit,
the Celsius,
yep.
And then in the summer we will get plus 35 to plus 40.
Wow, okay. So
and that's all within about 4 months, 5 months.
It's an 80-degree turnaround.
Yeah. And there's going to be ball 4. That one's going to be in the dirt.
As
we'll
I
load
said,
the bases.
Don't see a lot of walks in this league at the moment. First one given up on the night. Not the start Batchelor was looking for. Okay, so you must have a pretty good wardrobe when you're home to cover that. Or you're never at home when it's minus 48.
No, I've been chasing summers for 4 years, and and I definitely have no problems with it. I'm told it's extremely pleasant and warm at home. It's 0 degrees currently.
Oh, lovely.
At 4 in the morning there, so they'll definitely be enjoying the late late autumn warmth right before it gets real cold.
No, it's ice hockey season. The CFL's about to wind up, so you would expect it to be pretty frigid around the parts of Canada.
Juice was his first swing in Super League, falls that one right back.
I'll tell you what, he's done better than most who've barely been able to touch the pitches.
You mentioned CFL, and hometown Winnipeg Blue Bombers are in the Grey Cup, which is the championship game.
Who are they playing?
They'll be playing the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
All right. So
Juice takes that one low and makes 2-1.
So my Edmonton Eskimos, they made the playoffs, had to go and play in the East. I think Montreal took care of them.
I believe it was Hamilton.
Oh, they lost to
Yeah, in
Hamilton
the
last
semi-final,
week.
yeah.
Doggone, okay. So close.
There's a good fastball fight. Bachelor, even the count 2-2.
What other sport can we do?
Hey, Juice, here we go.
Yes. So this is week 5 of the Super League Baseball Adelaide. There's only 6 weeks of the regular season. It all wraps up next week. And then playoff time.
Good pitch on the outside corner there for strike 3. Froze Juice as he was looking for something, maybe a little inner half, and that one was perfectly placed for the first out of the inning.
So it's taken halfway through the third, but we got to the end of the lineup. Number 9 hitter Josh Spratt facing Bachelor now. Happy to see that one on the inside and go ahead 1-0 in the count. Countdown clock down to 36. Now, did we note, did it start at 80 or 90?
I could say 85, just meet you in the middle.
Meet you in the middle. We'll have to check
1-0 to
that.
Jordan Spratt, and he takes that one wide, and 2-0.
It's the earlier game, Crushers and Clippers, top of table clash. The Crushers got the lead, I think going to the bottom of the 4th. And then the Clippers went berserk, and in going berserk, they ran the timeout at the same point. Got the lead, ran out the clock, taken top spot, and we can't think of a way that they can't be in the championship game in 3 weeks.
Yeah, we'll have to see once this game's over here. There may be some numerical instances, but right now we know they're at least going to be. Spratt's going to foul that one off. They can't finish worse than second. Yep. I believe they've clinched first and all the way into the grand final championship. But we'll give you more information on that by next week at the beginning of the game as we get everything more clarified.
I think the only way it could happen, and I mean, I love my stats, Rob. So these sort of things are, what I live for. They have the tiebreaker on the Wasps, and they have the tiebreaker on the Clippers now, I think, due to runs. But I'm not sure how it works if there's a 3-way tie of Wasps, Clippers, and Crushers.
Big swing and miss there.
But that's...
Make it a full count.
I don't think actually possible because the Wasps and Clippers play each other next week. Wasps and Crushers play each other next week in one of the finale games, and it'll be the Clippers and the Carp. That'll be the early game next week.
Spratt's going to line that one. Second base going to be caught and dropped by Plant. He's going to flip to second. He's still going to not be able to get the out. As the throw is not going to be able to handle by light body as he... I think he rushed it a little more than the time he figured he probably would rush that. He had more time as everybody's going back to the base and trying to get the double play still. We see on the quick replay here, line drive just popped out as he came, and then with the runner running hard, he wasn't going to get the traditional double play, but he might have been able to get the runners at second and third. But nonetheless, they get a run, nobody out on the air. The bases are still loaded for the Wasps. And we're back to the top of the order with Nate Vanderlinden.
And the Wasps seem to think that was a catching opportunity, even though I'm pretty sure that hit the ground early. And then it was, I've got to stay at first. Yeah, not the most highlighted, not the interesting way to score a run. Who do you put the error towards?
Well, the error is going to be on second baseman for more for the throw into the shortstop.
Okay.
It would have been a nice running play to spear a line drive. It was a good slider there. Van der Linden is not being able to catch up with that one there, 1 and 2. Would have been a nice play. Runners had to freeze, get back to the base, and Casey was able to hold on to it. And then it was just a poor throw to the shortstop at second base.
So this is Nathan Van der Linden. We've got to the top of the order, just 1 out. And here's your chance for the Wasps, isn't it? With the bases loaded, 1 out. Something in the corners can bring a couple of runs and tie it up. Something over the fence, and the Wasps lead by 2.
Just on the outside corner there, and goes to count 3-2. Once again, Bachelor's loading up his pitch count as the bullpen's going once again for the Carp.
Yes, indeed. Big pitch here because he's got nowhere to put Van der Linden. Except concede the run and put him on first. That will score Croce, who started at first and was being worked around. And that's his second walk. So 2 walks, a strikeout, and that error happening around the second base area. It's a 1-run ball game.
Yeah, the Carp got 2 runs last inning. They've given them back right here with some walks and field work. But Bachelor's going to need to get a double play ball to get himself out.
First pitch strike, just half an hour left. We're into the third, so we actually got a half chance of going 5 in this one, which would be the exception rather than the rule. Most have seemed to have gone 4 because at some point there's been a long inning. And maybe this is the one.
We've definitely seen some long innings which take 10 to 15 minutes and eat a big chunk of the clock. There's that slider that he hasn't been able to throw consistently, and that's the problem right now for Bachelor, not being able to throw consistent strikes. We've seen that slider miss low and away in the dirt, high and away, and then he throws the good one. So getting command of that would even it up. Bishop's going to drive that one to right. Partington's going to go back to the wall. That one's going to trail, and that one is going to be gone for a grand slam for Michael Bishop. He clears the bases, and the Wasps have stung the Carp.
Ha! Big time. It's a still night. Very little breeze. If you're going to hit runs to the scoreboard, tonight's the night to do it. Jack Partington's looking at the scoreboard, hoping the ball might come back. I don't think that's about to happen. Grand slam, Michael Bishop. Here's the shot right there.
We see, takes a little look at the dugout, flick of the bat. He knows that one's gone.
So Josh Cakebrand up to bat. No one on base. They've all been cleared out, and the Wasps have that 2-run lead. And that hits the bottom of the fence, so it's going to be a 2-bagger to Josh Cakebrand. And had Bishop left anyone on base, Cakebrand would have just brought them all home anyway.
Yeah, it's the warm, still air of the night. The ball is traveling. We've seen multiple home runs tonight in both games combined. And the big swing, Michael Bishop unloading the bases there. Grand slam, giving the Wasps the 6-3 lead, which, because of the standings and the way these two teams played earlier this season, 6-3 is actually a 6-run deficit for the Carp, because they have to win by 3 runs tonight to advance. So the Carp are a little bit behind the 8 ball, and they're going to have to make a pitching change to try to end the bleeding this inning.
So plenty of baseball action. We saw the Premier 12, and a fascinating week for the Aussies. They pushed Japan to the 8th. They're in the running for the 4th place payoff against Chinese Taipei. They pushed that to the 8th, then gave up 4 runs. And of course they ended up not having Travis Blackley, who just happens to be, this year, a Major League All-Star closer. And boy, could he have been useful in a couple of those games. Japan went on to win. Korea got themselves an Olympic qualifying berth, and it was Mexico over the USA. Mexico have qualified for the Olympics. So we've got 5 out of the 6 now. Australia's still in it. but it's got to get past mainly United States and Chinese Taipei, so no easy task there. So the ones that are in it, Japan is the host, obviously, South Korea, Mexico, and the Netherlands at this point. Yeah, some fascinating reason. Probably showed Australia had 2 poor games in their 9 games that they played, but just the experience of being able to play so much top quality opposition over that period of time, I think will do wonders for the program going forward.
Yeah, they definitely had a good Premier 12. Probably looking for a little bit more, wanted to qualify obviously for the Olympics, have a better success. But I think got to be happy with beating the teams they beat. Maybe a little disappointment with some of the hitting. But
yeah, pitching wise, bar the closing was pretty much bang on as Sam McGarry comes to the plate. Yeah, look, the way the qualifying was going to work at that tournament, to qualify at the Premier 12, they had to finish above South Korea and Chinese Taipei. And that's an ask, given you're talking about 2 of the top 5 teams in the world. But Australia finishing 6th, as a country ranked 7th going in, so I guess that's progression. And I think probably it says that they belong at this level. And I think that's an important thing to look at going forward, because when you looked at Japan winning and how far Australia pushed Japan in that opening Super Round game, that could well have gone another way.
we see Cesar Perez taken over here for the Carp. Zach Efronitis was now in at first base. I'm going to be hitting the 9 hole where Garrett Alvarez was. So far, Perez behind in the count 2-1. McGarry came off swinging. He swung the first one, fouled it back, and a couple balls. And that one he's going to drive to center field. It's going to get it's going to be good enough for slack fly as Josh Cakerbread's going to stroll in from third base and a leisurely little pace there. He went to third on the wild pitch, but Sam McGarry got into a ball there to deep center field, got the job done, got another run in, and it's now 7-3 for the Wasps.
Yep, 7 runs. They were no hit after 2. But as soon as Alvarez went out of the lineup, this is where they've struggled the last couple of weeks. So we had Suzuki, who was at second score, Kroos at first score, Griff Weber, who was walk score, Spratt, who singled to right score, Van der Linden, who was walk score, Michael Bishop, they all scored because Bishop hit a grand slam, and then Cakebread has scored courtesy of sacrifice from McGarry. So we're up to Suzuki, who started this at second and scored a run. So they've almost batted around by Super League standards.
By Super League standards, in the scorebook, I'm onto a new inning
column,
here.
Yeah.
So, but been kind of the Achilles heel for the Carp so far this year is the one inning they can't get out of.
Yeah, they just have one bad inning, and they don't have a guy they can bring in to shut it down.
And it's always been somebody different every game. Earlier in the year, there's been a few names that we could use that that weren't able to get out of innings, whether it because of defense or because of hits. Good play from Nick Platten to get that one down, whirls it, and Efronitis isn't able to pick that ball out of the ground. But good job from the second baseman there to get that ball and have a good feed over to the first baseman.
So you can see there on the scoreboard 7-3. Of course, we're sort of doing it like this one is all over, and that's not quite how Super League works. It only takes a walk to load the bases and something over the fence, and we've seen quite a few get to the fence tonight for the Carp to be right back in it. It's just the way that they've played this season. They've been in contests early but have found a way to fall behind.
Big swing and a miss there from Kellen Kroos. We have seen the Carp score runs. Last week against the Crushers, the first inning, they put up 6 on the new import that the Crushers picked up without him. There goes Suzuki on the run. It's going to be a throw from Nuiz, and that's going to be right on the mark, but just a little bit late. Stolen base for Citro Suzuki.
Suzuki's had a couple of highlights, made that acrobatic catch earlier, scored a run, had a little bit of an issue last week with some fielding, but right back at the top of his game tonight.
Yeah, in 2 weeks we've seen the Jekyll and Hyde with him in the field. An outstanding diving, rolling catch tonight, and last week, couple routine balls that he
ate him up.
Yeah, just waited too long on him, and he let them come to him. And there's going to be a good pitch from Perez. That's going to go right through the legs of Nick Platten, second base. That's going to score another run. And that's going to be the third error of the inning for the Carp. Mix in the walks, the grand slam, and it's now 8-3.
Oh, that's incredible. So who was that just crossed the plate?
That was Ichiro Suzuki crossing the plate for the second time this inning. He was at second when the inning started. We now have officially batted around as Griffin Weber comes up. He walked in first inning.
And of course what this also does is this winds down the clock, and pretty much now I don't think we're going to go 5. I think chances are, although, what have we got? 22 minutes to get 6 outs. Could go either way, I guess.
Yeah, we got 2 outs on the inning. And everyone's just going to check and make sure home plate umpire Dalton Osborne's okay there. Took a foul ball. Not quite sure where exactly it got him, but...
Does it really matter where? It always tends to hurt.
No. And it's where the catcher just goes out, talks to the pitcher, and
well, that's head up from Barcelona. He's a bit, the umpire's sorting himself, and I'm going to go and have a chat to my pitcher.
Absolutely, it's the respect thing between a pitcher and catcher. Here's the foul ball, and that's going to get him square in the
right in the 6-pack,
square in the chest, maybe even a little bit off the arm, the inside arm there. We couldn't quite see the angle, but a little bit of a stinger. But he looks like he's ready to go back in there, and that one will be a slider. Low and away, leaving the count 1-1.
So Weber, it was only his first at bat when he started this third inning. And he's getting a second one. These games can flip so quickly. That smash by Michael Bishop over at the scoreboard.
Well, it was one of the exciting features of adding it to the Super League this year is playing the international rules every inning, and there's back-to-back curveballs. The first one got the outer part of the plate. This one missed inside, even the count 2-2. But it adds instant offense generally to a game. You should score at least 1 in each inning. And there's a good fastball there to end the inning, striking out Griffin Weber. But the Wasps, on the back of a big grand slam of Michael Bishop, have blown this game open and now lead 8-3. The Carp coming to bat top of the 4th, have to win by 3.
And Warren, our first game comes from Adelaide's Norwood Oval. Oh, he hit that one. That's a magnificent hit. Steve won't get that one. That's got to be a 2-bagger. Going to be a fire.
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Welcome back, folks. Hope you're enjoying Super League Baseball Adelaide. We are in the 4th, and it was quite a third. The Wasps scored 2, and the Carp scored 2, and the Wasps scored 8. They've made this a 5-run ball game, but as my caller Robushi has said, they've got to score add another 3 to that to get the tiebreaker to stay in the finals race. It is looking good if you're a Wasps fan about making the playoffs in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Wasps exploded that inning. 8 runs on 3 hits and 3 errors. Took advantage of some bad defense and some walks from the pitching. Boston is going to pop that one into right center field. Kellen Cross is going to track that one down, finds it. Lightbody's going to tag and move from second to third. Jack Partington stays where he's at. But the more important thing for the Carp, that's 1 out.
Yes, and they want a quick inning. Because right now they need some outs to play with. They're going to get at least 3. They'd really like to make it 6.
And we have runners on the corners here, 1 out. Expect to see Cesar Perez moving, or Jack Partington running early. He's already been on the bases taken, and there he goes. First pitch. It's going to be hit foul to third base.
You know, I suspect the way the Carp are going to play this, exceptionally aggressive. They won't be looking at too many pitches.
Looking to try to stay out of a double play here. Use the speed they have in Partington. Try to get 1 or 2 back this inning, and then maybe put up a 0 and go into the last inning for a big one.
Yeah.
But Partington doesn't go this time. Perez takes that one for a strike.
Yeah. And I mean, we haven't been down in the dugouts to see how much the teams are aware of the time. If it was me and I was running a team, I would have someone in that dugout who's got a watch, and they're responsible every half inning telling us how much time is left.
Well, since it isn't on the board here anywhere, it definitely would be a good idea, because we've seen teams not know it was the last inning throughout the year. Partington's looking to go, and he is. Perez going to drive. That one's going to into the gap. That's going to score Lightbody from third. Easy. Partington's on his horse coming around third.
Easy.
Pickup sticks are going to get him home. And Cesar Perez is going to coast into second base with a 2 RBI double. And it's now 8-5.
Yep. And just like that, the Carp are within range to do something if it can go to a 5th. Although that said, they got a man on second in Perez, who's just had a 2 RBI 2-bagger. And Van der Linden comes up with a chance to extend it. So they should do a pitching change and bring Nathan on.
Well, we have seen bigger leads than this disappear very quickly. So
usually when the Carp have had the lead.
The first pitch to Van der Linden, he's going to pop that one up. Bishop's going to chase that one down, but it's going to hop into the Zambrero's Burrito Bowl over to our right.
And that will be rocking this time Friday night. Hopefully the whole stadium's rocking. Start of a new era in South Australian baseball, the rebranded Giants. Start of any season's always exciting. Huge player turnover as well with the pitching ranks.
And Van der Linden's going to get himself a little single in the right field. That's going to hop up and over Cicero. And Perez is going to come home. There's going to be a play at the plate. Bishop's going to cut it off. And with a little bobble in right field, they get 1 back, and it's now 8-6.
Wow. Now something over the fence. We've got ourselves a tied ball game. Nick Platten will come to the plate.
And looks like Carter Powell's going to be hitting for Nick Platten here.
The silver helmet, which is a little bit different. Oh, okay. It's not silver, it's just got a silver sticker on it.
And we'll see if Carp can keep battling away. Last week, like I mentioned earlier, they put up 6 in the first inning of the game just on a whole bunch of singles. Van der Linden leads. Powell's going to hit that one. Routine ball to short. 1 Van der Linden up. Over to Cakebread, over to first. Inning-ending double play. Exactly what Mitch Stark needed to get the Wasp out of the inning. And we see in the replay. Stark ready, delivers his pitch. Ground ball, nice little 3-hopper with a little 6-4-3. And we're going to go to the bottom of the 4th. Wasps still lead, 8-6.
All you need is the ball.
little horns and they give me a little bit.
Well, here we go. Bottom of the fourth, the Wasps at the plate with a 2-run lead. If they can make this go longer than 12 minutes, then they will seal the deal and book their spot in the preliminary final in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, we see Cesar Perez in for a second inning of work. This is probably the most important inning of the Carp's season here. And it looks like we got to have a bunt there from, I'm going to go foul. And Juice is looking to move the runners over, helps team out a little bit there. But this could be the most important inning for the Carp on the season, as it is dangling on a hook, we'll say, for the Carp. With trailing 8-6 here, an 0-4 record. They have to win this game. They have to win by 3. So they need another big inning. They just put up 3 last inning to get right back in it.
Oh, really?
But they got to put the 0 up like they had the first 2 innings, not the 8 spot they allowed in the 3rd.
Well, the last inning, the Carp they had the Wasps with their 7, 8, 9 hitters. Problem is they walked the 7-hole with Griff Weber, and then Josh Spratt hit a single. The only one they got out of that bottom 3 was Juice with a strikeout, which opened it up for the top of the order to come in, and boy, did they do something.
Yeah, at the top of the order, Nate Vanderlyn got on a walk, and then Michael Bishop. Big grand slam to right field, and opened the barn door for the rest of the inning, because they scored another 3 or 4 after that. And it's going to be a ground ball. That's going to be at second. This is what they need. Light body over to Powell at second, over to first. Not in time to get Juice there, but they got the lead runner at second base. So now it's runners on the corners with 1 out. Another ground ball. They could get out of the inning.
They could. They need some quick outs. Need to see if there's something not too subtle from the Wasps just to extend these at-bats a little. Although 10 minutes, 2 outs in 10 minutes is going to be hard to get. I think we might just get to 5 tonight. And of course the Carp bat last, so if they trail, they have the chance to... No, sorry, the Wasp bat last, so yeah, so it may only go to the top of the 5th.
The Wasp bat last, which is actually exactly where the Carp needed to be in this game. I know we're going to click down on the time, but as the visitors, having to win by 3, it was always in a game if we were...
Yes.
If you're only up by 1 in the last inning, you have to let the team score so you can get another at bat.
It's the Australia-Canada game all again, where Australia had to win by 2.
Yeah, it's that one's going to miss. Make it a 1-2 count from Perez. Believe it or not, actually had to do this in a game. Cheers to coaching partner at the time, Jay Heeman, good friend of mine in Europe. We had to win a game by 4 runs. And then there goes Juice running on the play. And we ball in the dirt, and that's going to be thrown down from Boston. Going to be a stolen base, no other advancement. Had to win by 4 runs. We were only winning by 2. So we had set it up and had the pitcher, somebody on. We were going to balk him around to score, so he couldn't just keep running or anything. Yep. And
so you conceded
the umpires didn't really understand, and there's strike 3 called on the outside corner, and Jordan Spratt knew it. And going to be a big second out there from Cesar Perez, allows the infield to move back, maybe save the Carp season if he can get Nathan Vanderlyn in here.
Well, this is the at-bat, isn't it, for the Carp?
Long story short, we weren't allowed to do it, and we were eliminated that night. So Nate Vanderlyn here looking to drive in a couple and maybe seal the game for the JSR Plumbing Wasps.
Anything a hit to the outfield should bring 2, and you think that would just about do it. 2 runs eminently gettable in Super League when you got 2 on to start.
And there's good slider there from Cesar Perez. Jump ahead 0-2. Been in this position a few times tonight. And defense cost him last inning on a couple 0-2 pitches on ground balls. See if he can get out of the inning here.
Needs one more strike to send it to the 5th. Crowd is silent and tense. There's a big shot to left. Looks playable. And is. That was the quick inning that the Carp needed. Most importantly, they did not concede any more runs. They go to the 5th. They're still alive. Just.
Put a 0 up, boys. Here we go.
Black Chrome is the official partner of Super League Baseball Adelaide. Head to the Black Chrome website to view the new range of custom baseball apparel and see why so many teams are choosing to partner with Black Chrome.
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Well, here we are, folks. There you have it. The inning counter has a 5 in it. Just trying to remember, I think I've only ever called 4 innings games so far this season. The game is on a knife edge. The season is definitely on a knife edge if you're a fan of the Carp, because you haven't won a game yet. There's only 2 games left in the regular season. And lose this, season done, just playing out next week with some pride. The Wasps win, they should lock in that playoff berth, but it's not just winning the game. As you've explained, Rob, the tiebreaker comes to head-to-head runs. The Wasps won the last encounter by 3, which means the Carp have to do the same here.
Yeah, the Wasps won the last one by 2. They won 9-7 when in the second week of the season. So to make sure to keep their season on the line, they have to win this one by at least 2. I haven't looked further details. Just win by 3 and make it easy for everyone. But they got a little bit of work to do. We're at the 5.5-minute mark here, kicking down. So this looks like it will be the last inning of baseball that we're going to play. So you got to get 5 this inning to keep your life alive. You got first and second, nobody out. The Wasps returning to Ethan Badcock to close it out. He's looking for a save situation. He earned it with his good work last week versus the Clippers. We'll see if the Wasps can do. And that one's below to start the inning. We got Nico Vanderlind's on second base, Carter Powell on first, Jacob Scott struck out his first time at bat. Yeah, up for the second time.
So it is 7-8-9 for the Carp. So it's about as tough as you can ask. The worst part of their lineup, needing to score the runs. But they don't really have to score, they just have to get on base and give the top of the order a shot.
Yeah, you're not looking for the big home run, you're looking for base runners. Whether it be walks or singles, you just want to keep the line moving. Not looking for a hero yet. You need a couple first, then you're looking for that hero.
So right now the tying run is at first base. Scott represents the leading run. He can touch them all in this inning. Here comes a critical 3-1 pitch. Got the strike, and we are at a full count.
Yeah, it looked like Jacob Scott was taken all the way on that one, as that one looked like it was kind of right down the middle. On a 3-1 to even the count, 3-2. See if the Carp get the runners going. They stay, and that's going to be ball 4. And it's the start that the Carp are looking for. And get that one base runner to load the bases, nobody out. And move the line is the plan.
This will mean barring a double play. And we have seen 2 tonight. But we will get to the top of the Carp. Boy, this is Darren. He's got the Sturt Saints helmet on. Yeah. He's borrowed that from someone.
He's going to line that one just past the glove of Michael Bishop. That's going to go into right field corner. We're looking at Death Valley here for a possible triple. All 3 runs are going to come around and score. Darren's going to cruise into second base. He's going to get himself a double on the play.
Wow. So he had a 2 RBI single to start off. Now he's got a 3 RBI double. 5 RBIs on the night.
Welcome to Super League, Darren. With the 3 RBIs, you've given your team a 9-8 lead.
Yeah.
They still need a couple more, though, because they do have to win by at least 3. But that is going to be the kind of the spark that maybe they need to get this. They gave up 8 in the third. Maybe they can get 8 back themselves here.
So the game's next week. The Carp will be in the daylight game against the Clippers. The last time they met it was 14-13. Who knows what could happen there. And the Wasps and the Crushers, who at the moment look like they're going to meet in the prelim, will have a practice shot at it in the late game next week.
We see Zach Efronitis coming in for his first at bat of the night. And take strike 1 there, or strike 2, excuse me. And came in a couple innings ago to take over at first base when Alvarez came out. And this is getting me his first at bat of Super League action. He's going to drive that one into right. That one's going to be right in spot of Suzuki. Doesn't have to really move. Oh, that one's going to take a little funny hop, and that one's going to get past McGarry at third base, and Darren's going to move up from second to third on a hop that nobody could have seen coming there, least of all Sam.
Yeah, just talk about eating him up. Oh, crikey. It's almost like it hit something metallic there in the dirt, but it is a round baseball, but it can bounce in funny ways.
We see the Carp are bringing the Wasps, excuse me, are bringing the infield in. They're down by 1, and there's only 1 out. I'm not sure they may not have the light buddy's going to jump on the first one and foul it back. They may not have already thought forward to the having to lose by 3 part of the process, because I think you'd be willing to give up this run to get an out and only lose by 2 if you knew that was part of the.
Well, what happens if it is 2?
That one's going to go to the fence. Darren's going to take a few steps, but he's going to get back.
Yeah, that's the brick wall ricochet there. Bounced so hard, the catcher really didn't have to go chase it. The ball chased him. Don't want to put you under the pump here, Rob, but if this is a 2-1 result, 2-run
and they end up with the same number against.
What's the next tiebreaker?
That's going to be to the rules committee to figure out. That one's going to be driven into right field by Lightbody. That's going to get over the head of Suzuki. He can't make a diving play on that one. And Darren's going to score easy. Lightbody flying around second. He's going into third. Play at the third base. And that one's going to be in with a stand-up RBI triple for Mitch Lightbody. And the Carp have exploded right back.
10-8 is the score. And right now we are at that tiebreaker nightmare scenario. And we may be seeing a change of pitcher just to do the clock. Now, of course, the Wasps do get to bat again. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, they're the home team, so they'll be able to get an opportunity to answer. Okay. And
I just said that with trepidation because I've got these end-of-game scenarios a bit confused from time to time this year because it's almost like you had an extra dimension to the game when you throw in a clock.
Yeah, it's part of the game that, as you mentioned, it would be good probably for the coaching staffs to have somebody in the dugout with their timer going to know, because it is an element of the game that you have to consider, and you have to you have to factor and plan for. You have to know what you're going to be doing. We saw the coach come to the mound, and we know there are no. You see Nick Hutchins standing there. He's not going to throw the ball. He's just on the coaching staff. He's the pitching coach. Yeah. But
right now he needs a pitcher. I think the problem is the Wasps don't have a pitcher.
Yeah, there was nobody getting ready, and so Ethan Babcock coming out, unable to get any out, the one out, excuse me, the fly ball to right field, and looks like they're going to center field, Kellen Kroos. He's going to come in. I'm going to try to get him try to get the final outs of the inning so they can get an at bat here. And I believe Deuce is going to the outfield in his place.
So Cross just came to the dugout to change the glove.
Yes.
From
his outfielder's glove to his pitching glove.
Okay. So for the uninitiated, i.e. me, what is the difference between an outfielder's glove and a pitcher's glove?
Everybody's going to have a little different idea of it. Outfielder's gloves usually a little bit bigger pocket, cover a little more ground when you open to make catches. A pitcher, you don't want as big a glove, something more that fits your hand. It feels like an extra little, almost like a...
Something that's minimalist, because you're not going to use it a lot unless there's a comebacker at you and you're barely going to get your glove up.
Yeah, and something that you also don't want to use something very big, because you want to control what you do. In the world of Major League Baseball right now is pitch tipping and stealing signs and stuff like that. But for pitch tipping, there's things that you can do with your glove that can tell a batter what's coming, whether it be where you hold it, if you flare it open as you're getting a grip. There's all kinds of things that they look for at all levels to try to get an advantage. So a little smaller glove, kind of you get a little more control over what you're getting. So
the Wasps get to bat again. So, but the Carp know with the tiebreakers now they don't want to have to dig up the rule book.
You want to score as many as you can.
They want to get at least 3 up.
You want, because you're gonna. I mean, when the Wasps are going to start first and second and nobody out.
That's right. There's no guarantee.
There's a good chance you're going to score at least 1.
That's right.
So you want to, if you're the Carp, you keep scoring until the other team waves the white flag.
So I mean, they've got a great chance here. 1 out and light body on third. No one on second or first, which means there's no force situation here. Sacrifices in play, no force. It's probably bar, a bases loaded, no outs. So this is probably the odds of scoring a run here are pretty good.
Very good. Infield's in. You've got to hit a ball hard somewhere, and there's a good chance to get through the infield. 0-1 Partington, and takes that one high, 1-1. It'll be a tough spot for Kellen Cross to get into here. He's usually a starting pitcher, used to getting time to warm up in the bullpen. He's come straight from center field, no warm up. He's probably a little bit loose, but still for normally a starting pitcher, this is going to be a tough spot to come in, and you got to throw strikes and try to get out with a man on third.
Full count already. I'm not sure if I think the scoreboard's just frozen. Here at the field, not the one on your screen. So, big money time pitch right here.
Parton's going to drive that one to center field. Juice gets tangled up a little bit, but he's going to track that one down. That one's going to be deep enough, though, for Mitch Lightbody to score. And there's the third run that the Carp are looking for. It's now an 11-8 lead for the Carp. 2 out here. Sir Boss Nui coming up to bat.
Sir Boss, indeed. Great to have him back. Called quite a few highlights of him in Adelaide Bite uniform. Let's see if he can put one on the board here for the Carp. Of course, he's got empty bases. So the chances here with 2 out and empty bases are adding to the tally. Suddenly the percentages drop considerably. But it does give the Carp something to defend.
Takes ball 1 inside. Regardless of how many more runs they score, we are going to have an interesting finish to this game in the bottom of the inning. And Cross misses outside on that one, 2-0.
Well, don't forget, the Wasps scored most of their innings. Well, so they've scored all of their 8 in 1 inning. They've batted 4 times, got a goose egg in 3 of them, and 8 in the other. So they're not particularly, you'd have to say the Carp have probably been more consistent tonight with their 11 runs. They had 1 in the first, 2 in the third, 3 in the second, and what's that now, 5?
5 this inning. It's the old story of when you got a team on the ropes and you got them fighting for their lives. It's the last 3 out are the hardest to get. And proved again tonight as the Carp fighting for their lives down to their last 3 out, put up 5.
Whenever you say that, I think
counting.
of this year's Baseball SA Grand Final where Sturt had Goodwood pretty much dead to rights, but just really struggled to get the last 3 outs. As there's a walk, and the Carp are going through their order quite nicely now. And as we see Noy substituted, as you would expect.
Yep. We'll slide Nick Platten goes out to run. He was substituted earlier, so he'll be able to run here.
So still with Perez, I think.
Back to Cesar Perez. That was he had a big double last time up. Drove in a couple runs and kind of got everything going for them last inning.
At that stage, it was 1-0.
And takes that one for a strike. And it's 0-1.
So don't forget, folks, the Giants start off Friday night, doubleheader Saturday, matinee 12 o'clock Sunday, and of course baseball, I say, full round around the city. Any baseball SA news that's leapt at you in the last week?
I think probably the biggest news in the SABA right now is where in the table the Northern District Reds are sitting. Sitting in 6th. That one's going to be driven.
Wow, they're sitting in 6th.
Winning record 4-3.
Crikey.
Played 4 wins in a row, and playing very good baseball right now. So maybe the turning point that organization needs to.
Well, there's been some seasons where they've barely got the 4 wins in recent times. So that one is popped up, but it's going to drop. Everyone's safe, and we got men at the corners, and the Carp may not be done just yet.
Yeah, our single there for Cesar Perez. Keep everything rolling. Turn it back over to Nico Vanderlinden, who was on second to start this inning. So we see a ball drop in front of Citro Suzuki. Good job to keep that ball in front of him and make a good throw to the infielders. We've seen him have one shoot over his head earlier, and then the throw to third, which must have hit a footprint or something to hop over Sam McGarry, but that one's going to line drive. That one's going to be a fair ball. And now we're going to have extra bases as Nico Vanderlinden finds left field corner. 1 run's going to score. Perez slides in to third base. Vanderlinden into second, and it's another run for the Carp, and it's 12-8.
Well, this suddenly sets the Wasps the task to lock in their playoff berth. The tiebreaker is at 2, so the Wasps would have to score at least 2 in the bottom of the 5th to send us to the rule book, and 3 to lock in the fact that they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's why for the Carp you want to keep scoring here.
They've got a chance here, but it is 2 out, so they're only 1 mistake and that'll end the inning. But Death Valley has come into play twice, 1 to right, 1 to left. That one gets power tapping his toe tapping there, getting out of the way.
Yeah, we saw Carter Powell. He's only been in the game for about an inning and a half, but he's been all over the place. Hit into a double play in his only at bat that he's had, but he was on first and scored earlier this inning. Had a put out last inning. So in his inning and a half at second base, he's had a little bit of action. So looking for a couple RBIs here. 1-1 pitch coming to him from Kellen Cross. And he's going to follow that one back.
And that's something we haven't seen a lot of in the Super League because it only goes the 4 innings. Hitters only getting a couple of at-bats, is the substitutions. So Carp have used 2 tonight. I think the Wasps are still with their starting 8 defenders.
I think a few guys have maybe moved around from what we were originally given, but there's the 2-2, Carter Powell, and be a full count. Let me see. Cross looks like he's laboring a little bit, and that's going to be once again due to the having to come in, and it looked like they weren't really sure what they were going to do with the Wasps there. Powell's going to drop that one just in behind Cake Bread, where he's going to flag that one down. But a huge inning from the Carp when they needed it. They get 6 runs. We're trailing 8-6. Now up 12-8. Have to win this game by 3 runs to advance. We'll see what the Wasps can do when we come back for the bottom of the 5th and last inning.
And 1.5 first game comes from Adelaide's Norwood Oval. Oh, he hit that one. That's a magnificent hit. He won't get that one. That's got to be a two-bagger.
Going to be a fire. Oh! It's safe! And there she goes!
She got two little horns and they give me a little bit.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks for sticking with us. This is Super League Baseball Adelaide. We're in the final inning here. The Wasps have some work to do. Plenty to play for right here. It is Michael Bishop who had the Grand Slam home run. Does that again. The Wasps will have 3. And we're right back in the contest. He takes the first pitch. So talk us back through this, Rob. It's a 4-run margin. What buffer do the Carp have for different scenarios?
When these two teams played earlier this season, they lost the game 9-7. So they have to win this game by 3 for their season to still be continued. We're going to pick off at second base, and he's going to be getting there safe, Jordan Spratt. The funny part, and the part that digs into where the rule committee and the commissioner and general manager have to get involved is if the Wasps score 2, and this one gets 12-10. They've scored equal number of runs, and I'm not sure where we go after that.
Well,
But for the Wasps, they're looking to. They want to win the baseball game.
Well, it doesn't.
So to them, they're losing by 4, as we see the play, and Spratt gets in behind the light body there.
Because of course, look, it's not decided tonight if it's by 2, because you've still got the results next week having to fall a certain way. The Carp taking care of the Clippers and the Crushers taking care of the Wasps. In that scenario, those two teams would be 2 and 4.
Correct,
where
yes.
the tiebreaker then kicks in. So we're talking about a scenario that we won't know actually exists until after next week's games. But hey,
right.
we love getting ahead of
For
ourselves.
next week to matter to the Carp, they have to win this one by 3.
Yeah.
That's their simple fact that they have to go on right now.
Right now, that's what they have to do. Win by at least 3, and then win next week, and then they have to sit in the stand and start cheering for the Crushers.
Correct. But 3-1 pitch here to Michael Bishop, and he's going to take that one for ball 4, and it'll be a leadoff walk here. Loads the bases, nobody out. Jack Higginbotham's taken over this inning. And he comes out, and he's put himself in trouble right off the bat.
And this is the problem the Carp have had all season. I think, as we've mentioned before, this is their 5th game. I reckon at least 4 times they've led by handy margins, sealing the deal.
Couple of them in the last inning.
Yeah. Just get the feeling they're one decent pitcher short.
And ball 1 up again.
It's an intriguing version of baseball to watch and call. There are so many different intricacies that come into it that do not come into a normal baseball game.
And the 1-0 to Cakebread, and he misses high, 2-0.
Because we don't see, you can't have a traditional closer if you don't know what your final inning is going to be. You can't set it up. Even last year when everyone had their 2 innings of pitches. Yeah.
Ground ball. Carter Powell is going to flip second. And he's going to get on the transfer. They are going to get the one out there at second base. Maybe a fielder's choice RBI for Josh Cakebread.
So the Carp is saying, how about the interference and give me a second out here? Saying that Bishop took his line out. Let's look at the Spacequake Sports replay.
We remember you can slide to try to take. You just have to be able to hold on to the base after your slide is done. So we can see the slide is in.
Oh, the little hand just came out there, didn't it? Ah, incidental, I'm sure.
It's the incidental. You can claim you're protecting yourself, protecting your face, any of those, but you can, as long as you can be at the base, you can slide through.
Yep.
And it looks like that was there.
But the leg came out after he was, the arm came out after he was well and truly through the base. Like right there. Almost. Yeah, that's fascinating. Of course, the umpires don't have the replay. They're calling it as they see it. They said the interference was just part of sliding to the base, which is fair and reasonable. Certainly no issue with his line. He took the base out pretty much. And so that is one out, men at the corners, and a run. We forgot to mention there's a run in there as well.
The big part for the Wasps for getting that run. There's a big swing by McGarry there. He had a sac fly to center field his last time up, looking to do the same here. And
so the Carp can concede a walk, and that's about it. No pass balls. They cannot let that third baseman cross.
good fastball. Bottom of the zone there, and 1-2. The big run for the Carp season is the runner on first. It's right now first and third, 1 out, 1-2 pitch to Sam McGarry. And Cakebread stays. McGarry swinging and missing a big strike out there from Higginbotham for the second out of the inning. And it's going to be Seichiro Suzuki coming up. Big hitter from the Henley and Grange Rams. And looking to keep the game going for the JSR Plumbing Wasps. Regardless of the result, this game for them, next week they'll be playing for a positioning, but they'd like to score a couple of runs here and eliminate a team and guarantee a spot, and not have to worry about next week mattering.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is have to defeat the defending champions to secure your spot. Of course, it may all be sorted by the time they play next week, because the Carp and Clippers are the first game. And now the Wasps were down to their last strike, and the Carp have kept it to 3 runs.
Exactly what the Carp were looking for at the game started, to win by 3 to keep their season alive before needing some help next week. But they still got one big strike to get here. And the 0-2 to Suzuki, and that was going to be a little bit high, 1-2. Good 0-2 pitch though. Don't want it in the zone, but it's got to be a little more competitive. Can't be quite that high after you've seen a free swinging batter up there in the first 2 pitches.
Anytime you see the catcher stand up, you know it's not likely to be a strike. As that's popped up, it's going to land on the roof, I think. This is one of the later games we've gone to. We've ticked over.
We've gone over the 90 minutes that the Super League games are, but that's what baseball's supposed to be. And
so what's this 90-minute rule? Just hope they don't turn the lights out.
Yeah. And we've got another 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jack Higginbotham strikes out the last 2 batters. And the Carp get themselves a 12-9 victory. Their season is still alive for another week.
So the Carp have the tiebreaker over the Wasps. Should they end up 2-2 next week? We've got 2 massive games to see out the regular season. Rob Ashley, you will call them both. Any last thoughts on what you've seen today?
Well, this was the most important weekend of Super League for the 2019-2020 season. Next week will now be the most important week, so you got to be here to see them.
Don't forget, folks, Giants baseball from Friday night. If in the vicinity get down and support them. This is Phil Hurton on behalf of Rob Ushie and the fantastic Spacequake sports team saying good night from Active Display Stadium.